Hey everybody, how y'all doing? How you doing? Welcome to Jarrett Talks Interviews. As I interview people that have their own YouTube channel or a business. Tonight on Jarrett Talks Interviews, I have a very special guest. She's actually my very first time ever she been on my channel. I've been on the channel a couple times and get the word in and all good stuff. But I decided I want to get her on my channel. She
Yeah.
been with she was originally interviewed by Miss T with a T, and I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get her. I'm gonna ask her to get on my channel. So she agreed, and we just clicked and everything else. And then Homestead, welcome to J
Thank
Talk Interview.
thank you, Jarrett. I really appreciate it. It's such an honor for you to ask me to come and chat with you a little bit tonight. Just chill out and have a good conversation.
So tell me that do not know about you. Tell me about your channel and how you start your journey.
Okay. Um, my channel name is Dale Homestead, and I just happen to be Ann Dale. Dale is my last name, although Broke Farmer started everybody calling me Dale. So it's like one big word, like Mary Catherine or Sarah Jane or something like that.
Right.
So, but my name is Ann, and Dale is my name, which is awesome. I do gardening and preserving, do a lot of cooking. I also I try to help people get prepared for snow or ice or hurricanes. We happen to live in a hurricane zone. And so I try to be a little inventive. If you get caught short and something happens and a storm comes in, your electricity gets knocked out, then I try to show you some things you might already have around your house that you can use to be able to cook your food with or heat your home or have light, those types of things, which is wonderful. I have a little live on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock called
Mhm.
Tuesday. And that's where we choose our attitude of the day. Because I try to share the love of the Lord a little bit, just in the loving part, and to put out some positivity because there's a lot of negativity out there in this world, and I don't need to contribute to that. So I just try to, hey, Rebecca, try to put a little positivity in the world. Sometimes
When
people
you,
say I'm a little too positive, but anyway, I just like to see the glass half full.
what made you start your YouTube channel? Did somebody ask you to do your YouTube channel, or was it your idea to start your channel?
It's the
And
funniest thing. Yeah. Okay. So I was deep in when the illness came through, and my husband and I both retired at the same time. So we've been married. We'll be married 46 years in April. Yeah, yay! To the same people. You know, sometimes people are married 46 years. It's not to the same person, but yeah, to the same people. And hello, everyone. So glad you're here. But I was deep in watching YouTube because I wanted to garden. I wanted to learn how to garden. And I got in the homesteading community and through there met Led Farmer. Now, I became moderator on his channel. I was a moderator on Broke Farmer's channel. I was a moderator on lots and lots of channels. I mean, it was probably 50 channels I became a moderator on. And so Led Farmer had said, you know what? Y'all always tell me what to do. How about you make your own channel? And then I can come over there and ask you what you're doing. Hey, how you doing? And so he challenged everyone at the time to start their own YouTube channel. And I thought, well, what could this little old lady go and teach anybody or share with anyone? But I needed to ask everyone, and I was learning how to garden. And the New Orleans gardener took me under her wing and taught me a lot. Lady Sherrill taught me a lot. Led Farmer taught me a lot. And also Broke Farmer taught me a lot. Turf therapy, all those, you know, classics that are out there now that are still cooking and going and doing their things. So I became friends online with them. and decided to make my own channel. That's where it came from, honestly, Lead Farmer.
Were you kind of nervous when you started your channel?
I was terrified. Now, I've been pretty used to broadcasting. I worked at a radio station for a while. I
Okay.
majored in I did. I worked at a radio station, local AM,
Okay.
AM
Okay.
1260 WCTJ. But, I
Okay.
did. I
You
worked
got
at a
that voice
local
for it. Oh,
worked
you
at a
still got
local
that voice for that. Okay then. Go
it was
ahead.
a
Go ahead.
teeny tiny little radio station that barely got out
Okay.
of the driveway, it was just a little itty bitty one, but
Mhm.
I did, and, so I wasn't really afraid. I've never been afraid of speaking in front of people,
Mhm.
but making videos and going live are totally different things than
Mhm.
being secretly behind a mic where nobody
Right.
sees you.
Right.
Nobody has an opinion. They can't talk back to you. You're just on the radio.
Right.
So, it was yeah, I was nervous. Oh my gosh. I I barely could make a video that was over 2 minutes long because I ran out of things to say and thought I was boring as all get out. But, you get more comfortable and you learn more things to share.
So when you started your channel, do you remember your very first video on your live? And second question is, do you ever watch over? When you get done with your live or your video, do you run it back and like take notes on what you do and like make sure that the next video don't copy out the previous video? Or
I do both of those. Now, the very first video that I ever made, I sat down for and that was 3 years be 4 years ago in March. Be 4 years ago, and I sat down and introduced myself. I talked about my family, talked about who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm going, those types of things. And I was nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof, I can tell you. I was just as nervous as I could be, but I managed to get through it. And then, the very first live I ever did is really kind of funny because I was such a small channel, which I still am a small channel, but I was so small then, less than 100 people, and I was playing around at about 10 o'clock at night one night on my computer. I didn't think you could go live without at least 100 subscribers. So I'm
exactly.
I'm a button pusher, right? So I'm pushing buttons and doing these
Mhm.
things. I had on my pajamas. I was just fiddling in front of the computer.
Right.
Well, I hit that go live thing, and I didn't even know that I was live. You can go live from your computer
Mm-hmm.
faster than you can
Yep.
from your phone. I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea. And then Broke Farmer came on there and said, "Hey," and I went, "Oh." Yeah, I mean, I was just thrilled that I had on clothes. I didn't I didn't know I
Oh,
was live at the time. Well, thank goodness I had on some decent pajamas because I was just sitting there pushing buttons. It was hilarious. So it lasted about 45 seconds.
oh.
And then the next time that I went, it was Broke Farmer's turn again. He
Mhm.
was calling people out in his chat that had never done a live before and
Mhm.
inviting them up on his panel. And he was giving me a hard time. Now, I at the time, I didn't have any makeup on, I didn't have my lipstick on. I was trying to get ready to come up. I didn't know how to work StreamYard or whatever it was that he was using to try to get up, and so I finally came up on his panel, and, he created a monster because from then on, I didn't have a problem going live anymore. And so
Mhm.
I decided not long after that, probably 3 or 4 months after that, I decided to have a regular live on Tuesdays for Tuesday Tuesday.
Well, let's talk about Left Farmer. What Left Farmer, what Farmer, all those people that you mentioned, um, will they help you to get over your nerves, or did they ever like talk to you
Well,
like,
now
hey?
There were very few people that I actually spoke with on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Lydia from Best Jet Journey was one
Mm-hmm.
that I spoke with on the phone at back then, back at the time. Now we talk to each other. Bunch of us talk to each other a lot, but at that time, it was really just Lydia. But uh, Lead Farmer did the challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
then the New Orleans Gardener encouraged me through the chat, through um, it, commenting on my gardening videos and telling me things. Or I would comment on her lives and she would say, "Oh, baby, let me fix it for you. You know, it's okay. You can do all right."
Mm-hmm.
And so I began to, they didn't know me from Adam, but I did feel like they were mentors of mine. And then I would talk to Lydia. She helped me get an intro video and a logo for the channel,
Okay.
things
Okay.
like that, and we
Okay.
became good friends. And then from there, it grows. The more and more people that you talk to, and then once I learned that you could call people on Instagram, it was over because then I could talk to most anybody. Now, I've never talked to Lead Farmer on the phone. However, I did meet him at Soul Family Expo. We had a nice
Okay.
conversation.
Okay.
I've never spoken or met in person with the New Orleans gardener. Broke Farmer comes to the Soul Family Expo every year. Got a chance to hug his neck. And living in Africa, the African dreaming introduced me to Miss T with the T. And that's when she was smaller as well. She had been monetized, but Miss T with the T was sitting around her kitchen table, talking to you, chatting, shouting channels out, right? So I
She
got
be
a chance.
she be bugging me. I'm telling you, she be bugging me to come to start my channel. I'm like, when you gonna start mine? As long as
That's
y'all
right.
give me 100 people, as soon as y'all give me 100 people, I'm going with the flow. So
That's
I
right.
said so I went from being supported and being asked so much that hey, when you gonna start your channel? As soon as I get 100 people, I'm free. So here I am with two channels. I went from one with everything on it to two from the main to the interview channel. So I'm here.
That is amazing, Jarrett. I don't know how you do it. Now, I only have one channel on YouTube. I have other platforms that I'm on. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, a little teeny bit. I'm kind of old for TikTok. Threads, those types of
Yeah.
things. But it's kind of difficult. It's a tough job. It's a full-time job working social media in all of the platforms. But I can't imagine having two channels. My good friend, Miss Pam from Cooking at Pam's Place, she and I talk on the phone all the time. And Cooking at Pam's Place, Pam's POV, Scaredy Cat Gardener, and then Pam's Pop-Ups. She has 4 channels, and that
Mhm.
woman is rocking it. She is taking care of business on all of them. But she works. She works it like a full-time job every day, all day.
I,
And
I was gonna ask you, are you thinking about extending to second channel so you just separate your like if you go live on like have gardening on one channel and then like have a prayer kind like a prayer
yeah, I could
channel on your
consider
other channel.
that. Hey, how is everyone tonight? I'm so glad you're all here. I had considered that, but honestly, I have a tough time staying up with one. And I
Okay.
figure Andale Homestead is a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I mean, we live in a neighborhood. We don't live on a farm. We're in a neighborhood in a little cul-de-sac. I have neighbors on either side of me. We live on 1 acre of land. We have
Oh,
chickens,
okay.
and you're allowed 4 chickens per lot. So we have 4 lots, and we have a pretty large garden. But I figure, you know, the Lord blesses us with all of those things and the ability to have it. He's just kind of the umbrella, and everything else goes under there. So
So when you do go live, I mean, before you go live on it or make a video, do you ever sit there before you go live on anything and like meditate? before you go live and that I make sure
Absolutely.
I don't mess up what I'm doing or
Absolutely. Every not so much videos. Videos are more, and I probably should, it would make it so much easier, right?
mhm.
But, every live before I go on, I ask that it's the Lord's words, not mine, and that if someone gets some healing or some comfort or laugh a little bit, have a little bit of fun, then that's through Him, not from me. And, but yeah, I do. I pray every single time before I go live.
And do you ever like before do you ever talk to yourself and like do you ever say like this gonna be a good life? Do you ever talk to yourself and encourage yourself to say, hey, don't worry about what other people think. This is gonna be a amazing life or anything or whatever you post the video and stuff. Do you ever
Well,
like
I really do depend on the Lord's strength, not mine, because I could mess something up in a minute, I can tell you that. I could mess something up in a second, and I do go back and watch the lives and go, "Oh my gracious, I said the wrong name or the wrong thing or the wrong location or I
like
said something incorrect," often, especially the older you get, the less your memory is. Then, or shoot, I meant to say so and so and so,
mhm,
that kind of today, excuse me, when I went live, I had some notes that I took. And I come to find out a lot of our friends have few notes also. Most of the time, I have a fairly good routine, especially in my lives. I'm not one I like it when other people come up on lives and just have a conversation and they have a conversation with the chat and they're able to feed off of each other. That's fine when I'm watching it, but I'm not comfortable doing a live like that. I need to have something to share. I usually have a story or a poem or some sort of message in the beginning of
mhm,
encouragement, and then
mhm.
I share what I've done for the week, my mail that I've gotten in, or what I'm preserving or making, or any of those things. Yeah, we've survived 100% of those mistakes so far. I appreciate that because oh my goodness, I have said some things that I go back and go, "Ann, what in the world were you thinking? You weren't thinking. You're just too looking at everything else." And, but no, I have, like, some things that I want to cover each time, and I try to at least I have tried to write out scripts for videos.
Mhm.
I'm not good at it. I mean, I can write the script, but then it sounds like a commercial. It's not natural. It's not for me, it's, more from the heart and the normal life when you go, "Oh, I've dropped that. Okay. Oh, I missed it. Okay, we got to fix that," kinda thing in my videos, that kinda stuff.
Do you edit your video or you just post it like when you do something like the garden or anything? Do you record and post it or you just record and edit then post?
I edit. I do edit. Now the only editing software that I know of that I can work is iMovie because I have iPhone,
Mhm,
so I use iMovie. I wish I knew how to edit on the computer, but there's so many other people that will say, "Oh gosh, that video took me 2 hours or 3 hours to edit." If it takes more than 15 minutes, then I've done something wrong. It doesn't take that long for me
What
personally.
what's the longest let's say let's put it with the shortest live you done video or the longest live or video have you done? And either those two parts are edit or straight up videos alive.
Okay. Well, the shortest video, I do a lot of shorts and a lot of reels. So,
Not those shorts. I'm talking about like a short video, like where you like between like let's say about a minute to like 6 minute video or
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. I did a lot of less than 5-minute videos. for a while because I would look at the analytics and nobody watched me after 2 minutes anyway. So I was making like 5-minute videos because everybody went away. But yeah, and now I do make a little bit longer because I'm a little chatty. As far as the longest, I probably had maybe a 15-20 minute video, something like that. I haven't done very long videos. As far as a live, I was a part of a marathon that was a fundraiser for a little girl in Canada that had cancer that we were raising, doing an auction. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that was 8 hours, something like that. That was a long time.
Oh.
But yeah, and as far as normally for years, for a long time, I really try to stick to 30 minutes because after 30 minutes, I think people are busy and they want to go on their merry way. So, um, but they've been going for 45 and sometimes an hour. I do have something I wanted to share if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
On March the 11th, on my
Mm-hmm.
channel, on
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, that's at 11 o'clock Eastern Time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be having a big old giveaway. It's to celebrate the time change because personally, I can't stand the time change. I dislike it twice a year. I dislike it twice a year. Okay. Just pick one. I don't care which one you pick. Just pick one so that I don't have to get used to that all over again. But normally, when we go to daylight savings time on the East Coast, it gives us an extra hour at the end of the year or
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So we gardeners get out and do a little more gardening. So I'm going to be having a big old giveaway that Tuesday, the 11th. And what I wanted people to do in order to be able to qualify for the giveaway is go to my website, andalehomestead.com, and enter for the newsletter because the newsletter tells you a little more information about the giveaway. That's all. It doesn't cost anything. I'm not gonna be emailing people every week or 2 or 3 times a week or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but to go on andlhomestead.com because I've started making some homemade remedies, and I have some of those on the website for sale. So that's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. What I was doing was out of desperation because I have psoriasis and I have psoriatic arthritis. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was trying to find natural things that could help my skin, that would
Mm-hmm.
help um, help your body. And so I learned how to do those things. And people were saying, Anne, you really need to share. It's selfish to keep it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I started making some extra, and it's okay, whatever anybody does, but I do have that. So that's fun.
Now, when you mention about this day at same time, what is your do you have a set schedule when you do go live or make premieres or anything? Do you have a set schedule when you actually come up on YouTube and make videos and live?
I do. I don't go live usually more than once a week,
Mm-hmm.
and unless it's some kind of pop up, real quick little something that I've got something I want to talk about and show people that's new that's come in or something like that. I go every Tuesday at 11. On Tuesday nights at 8. Of course, you have Tuesdays at 5 where you have your interviews, and Thursdays you
Well,
have your
apparently,
interviews.
I was going to. I'm trying to interrupt. On Tuesdays, I don't go live. Period. On neither on my channel. On if Tuesdays, I used to go live on Tuesdays. I used to go live every single day, but
Oh,
since now I just go live only if somebody wants to go do an interview on Tuesdays or Thursday. That's when I'm off on the main channel. I'm off on the
okay.
main channel. Yeah, so that's the only way I'm doing interviews if I want to do on Tuesday or Thursday. So I'm off. I'm pretty much off on Tuesday because I had church I had church at 7 o'clock. So that's why I normally get
Oh,
I Yeah, about
Okay, well, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's good. Well, you
So
have to give yourself some time.
so when you do go live on Tuesday, Tuesday, is that other days that you go live, or it just Tuesdays, or is it just Tuesday you go live and
Mhm, it's just
the
Tuesday.
rest of the week videos or premieres?
I should have a schedule. Jarrett, I should have a schedule for videos, but I don't. I
I,
just
I understand that. It happens sometimes when
I
somebody don't
don't.
set a schedule. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I
But
should. I really should, but I don't. I mean, you get a video when something's going on, and I turn the camera on.
and oh yeah, people in the chat since y'all came from and their homestead. If you have any questions for her, feel free to answer. Drop in the comments and ask her any questions that she can answer, and
Yeah,
she can feel free. Um, do you love being a content creator?
most of the
Be,
time.
be honest. I'm not putting you on the hot seat. I'm not putting nobody on the
Most
hot
of
seat.
the time.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Do you
Not,
love
you
being?
know, there are times, there are days when I go, "Ugh, I just want to be a consumer. I just want
Mhm,
to watch other people. I don't particularly want to go through all that of I mean, I don't, but the relationships that I have made online are so worth it because I've made really, really good friends
mhm,
online. And in order to be able to talk with them and discuss with them, that's something that I don't want to give up. So, and sharing my ideas and their ideas and all those types of things, that's fun. Have her name her grandchildren's names. Okay. Well, I have 4 grandchildren. 2 of them are coming tonight and maybe even sometime during this live. I don't know. My daughter's 2 grandchildren are James and Millie, and
mhm.
my son's 2 children are Gia and Kaylee. And they are the apple of my eye. I talk about the grands a lot. There's sometimes when I go MIA online because I am with the grands. And I can't really do both well, and
Mhm,
the children are only gonna be children for a little while. They're gonna grow up really, really fast.
mhm.
The only boy that we have as far as a grandchild, who is James, is already 14. He just turned 14 this month.
Poor
It's
thing.
gonna be no time. I know, poor thing. Ugh. But it's gonna be no time at all that they're not gonna have any time for their grandmama. They're gonna be out socializing and having their friends or their
Yeah,
own activities and things. And
yeah.
so I try to suck up every moment that I can with them because that's the difference in being a parent and being a grandparent. Being a parent, you're surviving. The days are long, the hours are long, the days
Oh,
are short.
right.
But being a grandparent, you realize how fast the time goes and that, I'm older. I'm almost 66. My husband is almost 70. And so we're taking every moment that we can.
I'm not gonna say it, but y'all look great your age. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say it live, but y'all know y'all look great. I don't,
Thank you.
y'all look great. I don't. So I'm leaving it at that. So I'm leaving it at that. I'll leave it at
Look,
that.
every you can't say that enough to every woman and man in the world
I
that we
try
look
not
great.
to.
That's
So what?
always fun to hear.
What you if you weren't doing YouTube, do you have other opportunities or options that you want to do if you weren't doing this what was the other opportunities you want to be
Well,
doing if you
if
weren't doing
if
YouTube?
I if I wasn't on social media at all, I, would probably be this is my hobby as well as a job.
Mhm.
I probably would be a lot more creative. My house would probably be a lot cleaner. to be able to do a few more things. But I probably spend even more time out in the garden or learning new things. I love to learn new things and how to make new items and how to I'm just getting into the last year and a half or maybe 2 years, the world of herbs as far as healthy herbs and what to do with it. Lynn. But as far as healthy herbs and things to try to help myself and help people. The older you get, the more health issues you have. And so I'm trying to find what the Lord has already provided for us to be able to help my body.
What kind of vegetables or fruits and vegetables do you do in your garden? That you go in your garden.
Well, we're pretty plain Jane because I don't grow a lot of things that are exotic only
Mm-hmm.
because we don't eat a lot of that. And our food is for consumption. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we grow a lot of tomatoes because we
Mm-hmm.
eat a lot of tomatoes. The very first year that we gardened, I was used to having a garden. Then you eat whatever you can as it comes off, and whatever's out there, if you can't give it away, then it just goes bad. Well, that was breaking my heart because I realized how much work it was to grow those things. So I learned how to preserve, and we're canning them and freezing them and dehydrating them and all those types of things. And it's wonderful to be able to have a grocery store in your home where you can walk in there and you've got your food already made, ready to go. So that's been a big economic saver for us as the prices have gone up in the grocery store. We've
Mm-hmm.
been able to preserve what we have in the garden, and that has helped tremendously to be able to do that. We have chickens, so now that everybody's talking about how the eggs, somebody told me that was like $10 for a dozen eggs. Oh my gracious. That is insane. So our
Yep,
girls, we
it,
don't have
it
but
is. It's
4.
insane.
Oh my gosh. We don't have
Yeah.
but 4 chickens, but I've got 2 18 packs and a 12 pack right there, and we eat eggs every day. So, it's those kinds of things. Food security really is what makes me feel better.
Was that do you have anything else besides tomatoes? And do you have
Yeah, we do. I kinda stopped with the tomatoes, didn't I?
oh
We do. We have tomatoes, we have cucumbers, we have green peppers. I grow a lot of cayenne pepper because we take cayenne pepper every day to be able to help with our blood pressure and our blood flow and
Mhm.
making muscles stronger. We grow jalapeno peppers because we all love those, what do you call them? The jalapeno poppers.
I'll
We
put
we
peppers
love
there.
poppers. I'm not
Mhm.
crazy about just chopped up jalapenos in my food. Now, my husband loves that hot and spicy stuff, but I'm not a hot and spicy gal. We grow cabbage and collards and broccoli, trying to think, radishes, beets. We have parsley and squash and
Hmm.
zucchini. So we have quite a few things out
So
there.
is the husband a gardener also like you?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh, if it weren't for him, the land of plenty. Now, the name of our garden is the land of plenty. I
oh,
thought I thought I had made a mistake, calling it the land of plenty the first year. YouTube helped me name the garden of the land of plenty. Okay,
okay.
and I thought, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What if everything dies? And it wouldn't be very plentiful. But I realized that the word plenty can also mean you have plenty, you have enough. You have enough. You talk about the property of cayenne pepper. I absolutely will be glad to. So, having enough, even if something doesn't do well, if you get a few, then that's enough. And I'm happy with that. There's some things we have never grown as far as corn. We've never tried corn.
Okay. Okay.
We haven't tried watermelon because the vines need a lot more space than what we have. Although I'm going to try some pumpkins this year, some little sweet pumpkins, and we haven't grown sweet potatoes before, but we want to try this year, so that'll be fun. But Lynn, the Okie Dokie, was asking about the properties of cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is something that is so healthy for you. The capsaicin in cayenne pepper is at a state where what that means is the heat level of cayenne pepper um, is not so hot that it interrupts. Like I had developed ulcers, and I had all kinds of blood pressure problems, and I had all these aches and pains, and blood flow was having a hard time. And you did grow corn one year, but cayenne pepper has the ability to go in your body where you need it. And so I've grown it a lot, and we have a lot dry. I dehydrate it and then put it in a blender. And so I've got my own cayenne pepper, which is really cool. But it has helped with my ulcers. It has a healing product. It helps with blood pressure. It helps with headaches, and it helps with blood flow. Those are just a few of the many products of cayenne pepper that helps. And so we, Jarrett, last year I went to go buy some pepper plants for the garden, right? So I picked up what I thought was plenty of cayenne pepper plants. It was like 8 or 10, something like that. That's a lot. And I picked up some plants that said that they were bell pepper plants. Oh, when they started to grow, all of them, we had like 18 cayenne pepper plants. They had been mislabeled.
Wow.
We had cayenne peppers that looked like Christmas out there with all those little long strings off of red strings off of the cayenne plants. But
Mm-mm-mm.
it worked out beautifully. The Lord knew what he was doing. So it worked out really well.
Well, I was going to ask you about your name. Did you ever check on other people and find out if the name was taken, the homestead part? If they'll it'll make sure that other people will have the name and try to make
I
sure.
I did. I checked on that. There is another Andale, and it's spelled the same as mine because not everybody has an E on the end of their name.
So,
But she's very famous, actually. She creates jewelry, and it's gorgeous and incredibly expensive. So if you Google, or I call it goggle, if you Google Andale, you're likely to come up with Andale jewelry, and it's lovely jewelry. But she didn't have Andale Homestead, and I started off with um, Andale Homestead in the Colony, and everybody was going, "Andale Homestead in the Colony? That's too
well,
long. That's a name now. That is a name."
yeah.
So I cut it down to Andale in the Colony. And then somebody made some kind of comment that that was insulting to a certain
Oh,
region. I didn't
right,
know. I didn't know. I didn't
right,
know.
right.
It wasn't anything. And that's the name of my neighborhood. And I didn't
Mhm.
know. And
Okay.
so I thought, oh, all right. I was, I, if I could have just said Andale, I would have, but I did want something to be able to be like you've got Jarrett Talks and Jarrett Speaks. I would have liked to have done that, but I wanted some sort of from the content that I have, which is kind of homesteady gardening, preserving, prepping kind of stuff. Um, it is better to have for a search engine to have Homestead on there. So yeah, I started off Andale Homestead in the Colony, and that was a name. People are going, I can't type that. I can't I can't say hello to you in the chat because I cannot type that long name.
But what the pro of the con being a gardener? I know I had just had microphone a while back, and
Mhm.
I'm glad they hadn't. I got to have the gardeners on my channel because I don't have no gardeners guests on my channel. So, what the pro with the con being a gardener and just try to learn how to
Okay.
make sure that everything is great and that kind of stuff.
It's always a learning process, always. One of the pros is that you are continuing to learn. One of the cons is you're still learning every year. You might have a bumper crop of, let's say, cucumbers. I'll just pick
Mm-hmm.
cucumbers. You have a
Mm-hmm.
bumper crop of cucumbers one year, and the next year you do the exact same thing, and you got 3 cucumbers for the whole season, and you've still done a ton of work and spent money of this and that and the other. We try to be as economical as we possibly can to be able to have our garden because sometimes, you spend some money and fertilizer and potentially in soil to be able to get the seeds to grow. And then you're staking them and trimming them and tying them up. And you're buying the netting and all these things. And you can go in the grocery store and buy one for 35 cents. And so you think, is that really worth it? But the pro is I know exactly what's been put on my vegetables. I know what's natural and what's not. I know where it's grown, how the plant has been fed. So I know exactly what I'm putting in my body and my family's body. And so that's a big pro to be able to do that.
What, if you when you actually came up, well, let me put it this way. Do you ever look in the comments and see if there's any what what would you do if you saw if somebody actually came in and say you should have done you ever receive a let's say one bad comment, let's say one
Mm,
bad comment, and it's like they wanted like um tell you something that should not be said.
right.
Do you read that comment? Do you
An ugly comment.
yeah.
I've been very blessed on YouTube and mostly, like 99.999% of the time, everyone's
Mm-hmm.
been kind. On Facebook, the same. Instagram is a whole other animal. They
Mm-hmm.
woo, they'll tear you up over there on Instagram real bad, real bad. If the comment has some cursing in it, or if it attacks me personally,
Mm-hmm.
talking about how I look or what my teeth look like or any of those
Mm-hmm.
kind of things, then I delete them. Now, it is hard to not concentrate on that one. You have 90 really good, nice, awesome contributing content or comments, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have one that is not. And it's hard it's hard to let that thing go,
Mm-hmm.
but, um eventually, I just give it up and go on because people have a right to disagree with you. They can have a difference of opinion of what you do. I don't mind that. They might not like your video, and that's okay. But what I try to tell them is, you can just use your little finger on your phone, do this because you don't really have to say ugly things because that's how easy it is.
Miss Lynn, have a question for you. Go put this up.
What type of fertilizer do you use on your plants? We try to use natural fertilizer, Lynn. I call it like the New Orleans gardener calls it super juice. What we do or any kind of extra vegetables, any kind of trimmings, even grass from the yard, any kind of things like that, anything that still has any kind of life to it. I don't put like dead leaves or bad things in the bucket, but we put them all in a 5-gallon bucket with water. And then those plants that all of the nutrients from those cuttings and things, even onions, banana peels really do smell bad though when they're getting in there. It smells real bad when you get them in there.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's called super juice. And then we can use our own plants to fertilize our plants. Plus, I do use fish emulsion, which the New Orleans gardener again, she was such a mentor to me in the garden. She calls it 511. And what 511 is, honestly, my husband's a big fisherman. So sometimes he'll just come and when he cleans fish and has fish guts, we just bury them out there in the garden. Gets lots of nutrients there. As long as you don't have kitty cats that come in and dig it up. You got to bury it deep enough. Does that sound
No,
weird to you?
I might have to get your husband up here. I might have to get your up here. I might get your husband up here one of these days if he got too busy. I'm like, he talking about, oh man, fishing. I'm like, okay, a
He's
fisherman.
awesome.
Okay, that
He
sounds cool.
loves
That sounds
he
good.
does he does love to fish. He's not crazy about social media. He doesn't mind me doing it. He says, "Go, baby, go." But, yeah, he's not into, social media much. I have
Okay.
gotten him up here a time or 2, but he's
Right.
usually very happy in the background.
Does he help you record the video and while you out on the garden, or you do all or do you do all the heavy lifting on your channel?
Oh, it's just me. No.
Yes, you.
No. When I try he has a lot of talent, okay?
Mhm.
A
Okay.
lot of talents, but
Mhm.
videoing is not one of them. He will
Okay.
all you'll see is somebody's face about this far, or
Right.
their
Right.
feet,
Right.
or it's crooked, or it goes like
Right.
this real quick, or
Right.
something like that. So he's getting better, but no, it is all tripods and me. And it's kind of tough. It's tough sometimes not to have someone else that will film you, but he doesn't enjoy it, and it's easier for me to just go ahead and try to do it myself. I have found a couple of tricks where you can get these little buttons that will stop and start your camera, and that's really cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you about this. When you say you good in the kitchen, what is your favorite dish that you make? That you cook. What's your favorite? What's your favorite kind of dish that you love to cook? Your popular dish. Because I know you be
My
talking about food.
popular dish.
Yes, your one popular dish.
Okay. Well, there's a little backstory to that because
Mm-hmm.
when I got married, my mother was a single mom. She divorced when I was little. I had two older sisters, much older, 7 and 10 years older. So they were
Mm-hmm.
gone out of the house when I was coming up. And my mother was a school teacher, worked full time. And so she figured if I got a good meal at lunch during school, because at the time, when back in the 60s, when you went to school, your lunch was nutritious. It was a good lunch that you had. Then the rest of the time, except for on Sundays, I ate SpaghettiOs and so I never learned to cook. In other words, she didn't cook for just the two of us. But when I got married, my husband came from a good old country family that did everything from scratch. They made their biscuits from scratch. They did all this good home cooking and things. And I didn't know how to do that. So I would call his sister all the time and say, "How do you do this? How do you do that?" But the one thing that I could cook that everybody loved was spaghetti. I could cook some spaghetti sauce now. So that's what everybody still 46 years later still requests my spaghetti sauce. So that's what I cook. And at family gatherings, I am to bring the Harvard beets because I do like Harvard beets. That's something that I fix. Do you eat beets, Jarrett?
No, I don't.
There's
I've
a lot of
never
people
had.
that you either like them or you don't. That
I never eat them. I never eat them.
oh, you
I
would
asked one of my former guests. He's a chef and everything. But do you ever do you ever watch your mom cook, and do you ever like learn from the cooking that your mom make, and do you ever write down the recipes for your
I
like
I did not. Now, like I said, my mama was a single mama of 3 girls, and she did not cook. She worked a lot. And on Sundays, she would fix a roast with potatoes and carrots and things like that, and she could cook. But, I was the 3rd kid, and by that time, she was like, Get it if you can, kid, 'cause I'm tired, I'm not gonna teach you. But my Aunt Peg, which is her sister,
Mhm.
would take the time with me and show me how she cooks things. And she taught me how to can. She taught me how to dehydrate. She taught me, which my mama would probably pinch me for, she'd roll over in her grave. But my Aunt Peg was the one that really taught me how to do things around the kitchen. And she
Mhm.
taught me she helped me in gardening. She helped me with herbs. She helped me with natural medications. She was before her time. She was a big help being able to watch my Aunt Peg.
So I want to say, um, when you mentioned about cooking everything and your aunt, your sister, well, your mom's
My mama's
sister,
sister. Yeah, my aunt.
what was the first, what was the first one that she taught you how to cook?
Oh gosh. Hmm. I don't really remember. I think maybe it she had me in the kitchen with her cooking turkeys. It was all for Thanksgiving.
That was
Um
that was your first actual
I
dish,
don't
or was
remember.
it?
I think the first thing she helped me learn how to do was to make deviled eggs, honestly. There's
Okay.
kind of an art to it when she would teach me how to cook them so that the peel would come off easily and what to put in the deviled you can make some bad deviled eggs. You can make some deviled eggs that don't taste good. But, so she would help me learn how to do that. I think that was the first thing, probably. Yep, y'all hit the thumbs up. That would be great
So what?
for us.
So when you start doing the gardening and everything else, would the cooking came along with with all the knowledge that you learned from your mom, sister, and carry it to your family, everything? Do you know some of the recipes that you normally that you cook? And another question is, do you go live on where you do cooking, or you or you just only for gardening only?
I've done a few videos. It's rare when I go live cooking, only because it takes so long. I mean, that's kind of a long live, but
Hmm.
I can do a 20 or 30-minute video cooking something. Um, as far as, honestly, really, the kids have learned from their dad. My husband is a wonderful cook. And now that he has retired, he does 90% of the cooking now. He really does. He's the chef of the family. He always cooked everything that he brought that home that was wild, like if he hunted something or fishing or frog legs or any of those kinds of things. He always took care of the wildlife in cooking. You got a face on there when you talk about frog legs. They're tastes like chicken, but
I think somebody was asking me for that. But I was like, I'm not in that. I'm not in that. But
well, it's a good skill to have if things go south of something, then, it's nice to be able to live off the land if you have to.
I'm sorry, I got my next to no playing music.
You're fine.
What's the best thing being a YouTube? I know I asked that question, but what's the be- what's the best thing being a YouTuber, and the worst thing being a YouTuber?
Well, the best thing on YouTube, being a YouTuber, is absolutely sharing and learning and making relationships. Honestly, it's the relationships for me that everybody might have a difference of opinion, but like Lynn the Yoki Doki is in here. We've got the Sarah's Happy Hives was in here that I know. I get to meet some new people on your channel also. It's being able to meet people. One of my favorite sayings all along before was, "There are no strangers in the world, only friends I haven't met." And that's a lot of fun for me to be able to do that. The con is it is constant and always. And if you decide, I don't think I want to do that for 2 weeks, I'm going to take a vacation, then ain't nobody seeing your videos for quite some time till you build it back up again. That's where his accent comes from. It's so cool. That's right, Lynn. He's from Georgia.
Born and raised, look, born and raised, Lynn. Born and raised. I ain't been nowhere else.
Yeah. What are those Georgia boys? Yes,
What the
plenty. Yeah. Thank you.
what the what kind of advice you want to give to the people who want to start their YouTube channel or be a gardener and
Sure.
get to know the the bottom up of being a
All right.
gardener or cook that kind of stuff.
Well, my suggestion would be to find your people. Um, I have friends from all different communities all over the place. I've got farmer friends, and I have the just the YouTube people. I have the 2A community. I have the gardening community. There's all kinds of people that I am friends with, which is nice. But it's about making relationships, especially in the beginning for me. And I was blessed enough to be able to have a relationship with a number of channels because I was already moderating for them. And so getting on there, learning from people, I actually, in the beginning, kind of studied some people and how they did things and tried to, although you can never be anybody else, you have to be yourself. Um, but I could borrow some tricks of the trade kind of from them of maybe how they presented something. My main source of advice is, good gracious, be yourself. If you want to make a character, that's fine. Like there's some friends of mine that have some characters that they've made up, so that come in and play a little part and then they leave and then you see the real person. But to be who you are, and so I just can't keep up with something that's fake. I just I am who I is kind of thing, and that's what I would suggest, as well as just do it. You try to just throw your hat over the fence, go get that hat, and give it a try. You know,
Lynn,
Penny.
Lynn, no, I'm not going to any of the meetups or anything because I'm not used to meeting up. I want to meet some. I would love to meet people from YouTube, the YouTube community, but I'm gonna have to. I will try my best. Since I'm actually up from Helen, Georgia, but
Mm,
I would try to do my best. So if I'm trying to if y'all want to meet me, I'm going to bring y'all to church. That's all I
there you
want to tell
go.
you. So I'm gonna bring y'all to church, and
That's right. Bring them to church.
yeah, bring them to church. But I
That's
know
right,
you. So
seriousness.
you mentioned about. I know you mentioned about lead farmer. I know you mentioned vote farmer, Miss T with a T. Um, all those other people that you mentioned.
Mhm.
Out of that group, who is like I would say, do you have a dream person, YouTuber, or anybody that you want to meet in person? It does not matter if it's on YouTube or in person. But who's like
Gosh.
your dream YouTuber that you would love to meet in person?
Ugh. Um, in person,
In person,
even though I talk to her on the phone all the
yeah,
time
yeah.
and I text with her, I would love to meet Chef Pam from Cooking at Pam's Place. That would be someone that I would love to be able to have lunch with her, to give her a hug. She's a great mentor of mine now as far as social media influencing, and we call each other and say, "Did you know that they're doing this on YouTube on the backside? Do you know they're doing this on this platform or that platform?" And so, I would love to be able to meet with her in person, and she's in North Carolina, and so am I. But we're about 6 hours away from each other, so it's, unless I head to Charlotte or she comes to the Outer Banks, I don't see us meeting up anytime soon. She is someone that I would love to give a hug to. I have met I've gone to quite a few meetups. I went out to Oklahoma one time and went to a seminar that they had, and they had several large channels out there: Arms Family Homestead, um, Keeping It Dutch, Cog Hill Family Farm, and Lester from I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, and Longhorn Lester, and all their wives with all their channels. And there were a bunch of YouTubers that were there, and I learned a lot, and that was a lot of fun. Um, I've met Eddie Family Farm. I met Lazy Days Ahead, which I adore, Jesse and Lisa from Lazy Days Ahead, and a lot of other people. But of course, Black's Tropical Homestead, she's my gal. She's one of my best buddies, and we have seen each I've stayed at her home. I've slept at her house. So, that's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And, going being able to make these relationships is really wonderful. I would like to meet Chef Pam, but I'm gonna be going on a cruise with a whole bunch of YouTubers in August.
Okay.
We're going it's a
Uh-huh.
whole bunch of YouTubers that are going to Alaska, a
Um,
cruise to Alaska,
I,
which is a
I, the
dream
first.
come true.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that video
Yeah,
somewhere on somebody YouTube. But question before I leave out of here.
yeah.
What do you have any final remarks or comments you want to say to your people and my people? And I would love, and matter of fact, I would love to have you back next time you want. Um, if
Well,
if you're
thank you,
not busy or
Jarrett.
anything, but you have any final comments or remarks and stuff?
Well, mainly, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for having me on here. It's such an honor to be able to get out and meet other people and see new faces and find new folks. That's always fun. And to remember that sometimes this is just a box. I mean, it's a box that you're looking at. You don't want it to take over your life. As we become YouTubers, we sometimes forget our real life people, our real friends that are in our own area, our church family, those kinds of things that you want to make sure that you continue to nurture that and nurture your own personal family as well. So that's be yourself. And once you hate it, if you don't like it, then don't do it anymore. Cause ain't none of us getting rich over here. I can promise you that.
It's an honor and a privilege to have you on my channel. I was like, I should have had you a long time ago. I was like,
Oh,
man, I was like, oh man, because the time I didn't have from y'all at the time. I'm like, oh man, but
that's okay.
it was a great it was just an honor to meet to talk to you,
I think
and
so
pretty
too.
much thanks to my mentor for going over over your channel and then over there eating good. I'm like,
Yeah.
thing. So it was like ringing in my head. It was like ringing in my head. I mean, I went on this channel and I saw him sitting there next to you, and my brain was just ringing. Boy, get her on your channel.
Yeah.
I was like,
I love
oh.
Jay the Motivator, that's for sure. Yeah, and I miss
so
you with T. She and I text each other all the time too.
so
It's
I'm
just
just I'm glad you came up my channel. And I would again I want you, if you're available, just let me know. Just shoot me a text or whatever, and say, "Hey Jay, I would love to just hang out with me." Because I like I said, I go live on my channel for that 3 days a week, and you can feel free to come up on my channel and just hang out with me for a little bit. a good 45 minutes to an hour just because you don't feel like
That's
doing it. So you're welcome to my main channel
oh,
or my
that's so
interview channel.
sweet.
So I'm
Thank
go
you.
ahead. I'm go ahead. Drop you down, and I'm finna let you
Yep.
know what I'm gonna do for next for
Yeah,
March everything. So,
talk about your next interviews. All right, thank you, everyone. Good night.
all right, y'all. That was in their homestead. It was amazing interview. It was the original the originally interview was on the 20th, but she had she's telling me that she was having a storm or anything, so that's why she moved it on the I actually moved on the 25th. So the original interview was supposed to be on the 20th, the day after Toodles Live, but it was a good thing to know that. So the next interview coming up right now, the next interview I'm gonna have is Brown Girl Bella on the 27th, which is Thursday at 5 p.m. I finally got to sit on there, and it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be great. And I want to shout out to all the home and their homestead support coming on my channel. I'm honored to have y'all on my channel, on my main the interview channel. Please go over on my main channel and watch my interview. I mean, watch my day live and everything. Run me up to 2K over there. I would love to see run that up to 2K on the other channel, main channel, and this channel to 300. So again, I appreciate for in their homestead coming up here and showing some love for my channel and all that good stuff. And don't be a stranger. Just let me know when you come back and everything. And I'll see y'all on Thursday. Matter of fact, I'll be here tomorrow. Matter of fact, tomorrow on the Bit channel, and that will be a great time. So tomorrow will be on the Bit channel. I'm good. And then on Thursday, I'll be right back on here, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Better, Brown Girl Better on the 27th. That will be the last interview for February. The last interview for February, and then we on to the next few interviews for March. So y'all have a good night, have a good time. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning on the Big Channel at 10:15 and 6 p.m. And I love y'all. Run me up on like I said, run me up on both channels. Get me the 2K on the Big Channel, 300 on the this channel. I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.